I was just saying shout out to Lamont Roach, man. I think he did his thing. I was worried being at home, just won the title. I was worried he was going to get in a trap. They say trap games or trap fight where he wouldn't look as good. Something was going to go wrong. But for the most part, he handled his own. How y'all feel about stoppage?
Oh, good stoppage.
Good stoppage?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
He had, Feargal had enough, and Lamont took
Too tough for his own good.
Yeah, so
the corner stopped it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They know their fighter. So but I liked it.
I thought he came out steaming.
Mm-hmm.
He came out on his P's, his Q's, his RIS's. He came out with on everything. And then he had a couple of rounds where he kind of like digressed from what he was doing great and just started performing good. And then he kicked it back up and went back to great, and he got the job done.
Shawn, curious what you think about it, because you mentioned he came out steaming. I actually thought he did a good job letting those moments in the fight in the fourth round, and he dropped him in the third too, and in the fourth, and then knocked him out in the eighth. But I felt like he let those moments come to him. He didn't try to get in McCrory's chest right away. He kind of outboxed him subtly, early on, and he did what I kind of wish, it's easier said than done, but I wish other guys would do, which is outbox the guy early and let him come forward, let him start to take chances, and then you get off the heavy artillery and do your best work. I felt like he kind of did that well. And
I did it.
Yeah.
I did an interview right after the fight, and I said Lamont Roach and his dad and his team were 100% prepared for this fight. They didn't leave a stone unturned. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he was able to do what he did. They knew that this guy was going to come after him. They knew that there was no other style this guy was going to come with. I think they knew if they hurt him, he still was going to keep coming right at him and all of those things. And I think that they knew the left hook was going to be there. Ended up being the first punch that he dropped Feargal with. And then what I felt happened was I felt he fell in love with that power and knew that because he knew that hook was going to be the punch, he started waiting on that punch, and then he started holding and waiting on the right hand. We even saw at one point, he literally went like this with the right hand, and then he didn't throw it. And it was like, that was the telltale sign right there that you're just waiting on power, big dog. Get back to the boxing and set it up. The thing, to your point, Zatel, but the thing is, not every fighter is just going to come after you. You know what I mean? So he was afforded the opportunity to lay back and cover up and let Feargal do these things because he knew Feargal wasn't going to do anything different. You know what I mean? Other fights and other fighters, they change the complexion, especially when they get hurt. They go on the back foot, they get on the back pedal, they try to preserve themselves and things like that. They knew that Feargal wasn't going to do that. So it just, he was allowed the opportunity to sit back and wait on it. But the other side of that, though, is the execution. He saw it and he went for it, man, and he looked really, really good.
Well, you mentioned the left hook. That was the best punch of the night. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And he had beautiful body work in this fight. And another compliment to Lamont is that, last fight, it was the opposite against Hector Garcia. He had to be on the front foot and cut the ring off against Tim all night and really use his right hand against that southpaw. This fight, he got to let the guy come to him and nail him with the left hook. So good, back-to-back performances there. But with the left hook, how was he able to keep landing it and not really get hit? Because the left hook, it's not like the brick hand where you could be rangy and on the outside with it and pop shot with it, and but the left hook, you gotta be bringing some heat and gotta be in the pocket to get that shot off for the most part. And he didn't get hit a lot. And what was it about the execution of that, Shawn, that let him do that?
I think they knew that Feargal was gonna box like this with his right hand down. And again, Feargal boxes coming forward. It's like you've got this like shoulder roll hand technique, but you're coming forward. It leaves you open for that punch. And then I think the thing that we saw from Lamont in this fight that we probably haven't seen before, I tell people all the time when it comes, and I've said it on the show, when we talk about power, we have to talk about the way the punch is thrown, the accuracy of the punch, and then what is the fighter who's getting hit with it? What is that fighter doing? When we see a fighter get just cold knocked out, what we have to look at is, well, where was his opponent at that point in time? Was the opponent coming into the shot, or was the opponent going away from the shot? If your opponent is going away from the shot and you catch him and you floor him like that, Tank Davis, like, you got some real legit power. Right here, this instant, I think we saw that speed makes power. A lot of people don't consider when you got speed that creates power as well. And we saw a guy, Lamont Roach, that has a lot of steam, comes from his speed, but he also has power. He's got accuracy. He can find the right shot, land it in the right place, and on top of that, if his opponent's helping him, he gets the job done, as we saw.
What is it? Well, you mentioned that, like, the speed can be power. Why is it that's not always the case for everybody? Like, I saw Richardson Hitchens against Lemos had some beautiful, sharp, fast, head-snapping work, but couldn't hurt him. Like, what is it that, for some guys who aren't necessarily punchers, their speed does generate some power, but for other guys, seemingly it doesn't?
I can even talk about myself. I was a guy that was known for power in the amateurs, heavier weight, more muscle mass, list goes on. When my dad started talking about moving down to 47, I was looking at guys like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley and a couple other guys. And what I saw from all those guys was a lot of speed. So coming down to 47, what I locked into my brain was I had to be fast. I had to get off. I had to get to that point when it's there. If I'm not fast enough, I won't get it. Mentally, I took away from my power because I felt like I had to bring more speed. And that's what we see there. You can punch with power. The speed creates the power. But if you're only punching to be fast, you're kind of taking something off of the punch. When you punching with speed, but you're also turning the punch and delivering it with the intent to hurt, that's what creates the power. So you got speed, but when you also turn it to hurt, that's what creates the power.
What are you guys looking for next for my man? The personal fight that I want is unification of Shockey Foster. Shawn knew I was going to say that. I don't know if you did.
I knew he was going to say that, and also you like from day one, you've always been the matchmaker here. So
yeah, like
I feel like this whole conversation.
Yeah. I'm like, forget all that. Let's get to it. Shockey Foster, Lamont Roach. I would love to see that fight. I mean, it's a lot of fights there, but he may have a title limit. I mean,
mandatory.
Mandatory.
No unboxing, the F's.
Or mandatory, as Kell Brook would call it.
Yeah. But Shockey Foster's the fight I would love to see these guys in. I think that's an action-packed fight. A lot of talent. A lot of talent in that fight.
A boxing purist fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows how it will go? It's whoever dictates on win the fight.
I would give the edge to Foster.
And yeah, I feel you.
He's a little bigger. Lamont's not a big guy at 130. He's very, like, good fighter, no doubt about it. Good professional in there. But I think Foster's a little bit bigger and maybe a little twitchier, a little faster. But Lamont, sometimes Shockey's motor comes and goes. He'll take some rounds off. That's why lately he's been having to pull off these dramatic finishes late in this fight. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to do that against Lamont Roach. Yeah. So he would have to be a little sharper for that assignment. But I feel like both guys fighting at their peak on the same night, I would give the edge to Foster. But I want to see, it's a boxing purist fight, like you said. If you're a fan of speed and skills and positioning, and there's going to be exchanges too. I know some people might think, two skillful fighters and they might be counter punching and feinting. No, I think it'd be a good fight. That's a really good fight. But if he wants to get his hands on another belt, guaranteed, could fight another Irish kid, Anthony Kakachi.
Okay.
Go back to back against the Irish guys.
Okay. You gonna do the Irishman like that?
My name, I'm Irish myself. I'm Italian and Irish, so no offense taken, Lamont. If you get that other belt against Kakachi,
that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
And then go get Foster.
And then fight Shockey. 3 belts.
Then Navarrete got something to say.
Antt, who else there, Antt?
Another one I liked. I don't know how you guys feel about this. Oscar Valdez.
That's a hell of a fight.
I think that'll be entertaining too.
Valdez has a rematch due now with Navarrete for the belt at 130. The WBO ordered that.
Okay.
Well, Navarrete, if he looks like he did against Brenagh, maybe, I don't know. It's going to be tough for Valdez to win that rematch. But I do love the matchmaking though. Valdez and Lamont Roach. That would be fun.
I think that'll be a good
I like
one.
Valdez.
Against Navarrete or Lamont?
Lamont.
Valdez and Lamont.
Okay.
You think Valdez
I
will beat
know.
him?
I'm hearing that it's gonna be Valdez. I'm hearing that it's gonna be Valdez and Navarrete. That's what I heard. I think like a couple of days ago I might have even heard that. But I think that's gonna be the fight next for those two guys. However, I do really like, when we're talking about still trying to establish who Lamont Roach is. I think the guy to do it against will be Oscar Valdez before Ashaki Foster.
Mm-hmm.
I think I love Oscar Valdez. This is like one of the true warriors in boxing, but man, he seems like he's tipping on that cliff, on that edge, and the right fighter on a given night could send him over that edge, send him home.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Dang.